Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. This presentation follows 3 prior presentations produced and published by the Idaho versus Kohberger podcast. We are now looking at the declaration of Wendy J. Olson in support of motion to be heard as interested parties and vacate non-dissemination order. It is dated July 3rd, 2025, but was released just today by the Clerk of Court on the 9th of July, 2025. This declaration begins as follows. I, Wendy J. Olson, declare as follows. I am a partner at Soul Reeves LLP and an attorney of record for the Media Coalition, interested parties in the above entitled matter. As such, I have personal knowledge of the facts and statements contained in this declaration. I submit this declaration in support of the interested parties, that is the media, ladies and gentlemen. Motion to vacate non-dissemination order. Attached hereto as Exhibit A in bold lettering, ladies and gentlemen, is a true and correct copy of the revised amended non-dissemination order dated June 23rd, 2023. This June 23rd, 2023 non-dissemination order was filed by Judge John Judge. It is the operative order that remains in place as of today. The declaration continues. Attached hereto is Exhibit B, also, ladies and gentlemen, in bold lettering, is a true and correct copy of the order denying the Associated Press's motion to vacate the amended non-dissemination order dated June 23rd, 2023 in the state of Idaho versus Brian C. Kohberger. By way of background, Ms. Olson represented the Media Coalition back in 2023. The Media Coalition, by and through Ms. Olson, filed a proceeding in the Idaho Supreme Court asking the Idaho Supreme Court to reach down into Latah County and to vacate the non-dissemination order that was in place at that time. The Idaho Supreme Court denied that request, but did find that the media had standing. In other words, it had a right to be heard regarding this matter based on the First Amendment, freedom of the press. Thereafter, although it's not stated here in this declaration, Ms. Olson, on behalf of the Media Coalition, then filed an action in Latah County seeking to have the non-dissemination order set aside. That motion was denied by Judge John Judge, who was the presiding jurist at the time in Idaho versus Kohberger. This declaration concludes by saying, I certify under penalty of perjury, pursuant to the laws of the state of Idaho, that the foregoing is true and correct to the best of my knowledge. Dated July 3rd, 2025, Wendy J. Olson, attorneys for the interested parties, aka the media. We now await a response from both the state of Idaho and Mr. Kohberger relative to this motion to set aside the gag order and ultimately for a hearing date before Judge Hippler. That was also asked for in the media's motion. This will now conclude this episode of the Indie Zone. Thanks for joining us today.